everybody, thanks for tuning in. Today we'll be making a delicious caramel slice. So without further ado, let's go to the kitchen. Alrighty, so here's the list of ingredients that you'll need. Feel free to pause the video and take a screenshot. So we'll use 1 cup of desiccated coconut, 1 cup of sifted self-raising flour, 1 cup of brown sugar, and 125 grams of melted butter. These are the 4 ingredients that you'll need for the base of your caramel slice. Give this a really good mix, make sure you get through all the lumps of that brown sugar, make sure it's nice and smooth. Keep going, keep mixing, keep pushing through those lumps. And this is looking pretty good. So the ideal pan size for this is 18 centimeters by 28 centimeters. Mine is a little bit wider than that. It still worked. Obviously, if you go much bigger than that, your slice is going to be really thin and out of proportion. Make sure you line your tray with baking paper and then you'll add your base to it. I like to spread it out a little bit with the wooden spoon. Then you'll want to press it in with your fingers. I like to use this part of my fingers. Don't press it in too hard to the base, otherwise when it cooks it'll be really hard. So you'll just want to press it in until it's a bit smooth. Bake in 180 degrees Celsius oven for 10 minutes. While that's in the oven, we'll make the caramel middle, so it's 30 grams of butter and 400 grams of sweetened condensed milk. Then you'll add your 2 tablespoons of golden syrup. Cook this over a low to medium heat and stir constantly throughout it. Do not bring it to a boil as you might burn it. It's so easy to burn this recipe, so just be really careful. Keep it on the low medium heat and stir it consistently until it's nice and smooth like this one. Alright, so we've pulled our base out of the oven. Now we will add our delicious caramel middle. So pour this all over the base. Using a spatula, you'll want to spread it all out so it's nice and even and make sure that it goes over to the corners. Alright, that looks pretty good. So now we'll bake that in the oven again for a further 10 minutes. When the middle's been cooking in the oven for about halfway, you'll want to melt your chocolate. I do this over hot water, not boiling water, as you can burn your chocolate. So it's 200 grams of chocolate and 1 tablespoon of olive oil. The olive oil stops the chocolate from cracking when you're cutting it. Constantly mix the chocolate so that it doesn't burn. Make sure the water underneath doesn't start to boil. If it starts to boil, just remove it from the heat. Now, I stopped cooking here where my chocolate wasn't fully melted. I took it away from the heat and then I started mixing it here because the heat's still there and it just melts the chocolate and avoids burning. That chocolate's perfect. Now let your base and middle cool for at least 10 minutes before adding the chocolates. That's why I said start cooking the chocolate about halfway through the baking time, because the chocolate takes a little bit of time to melt. Now you want to spread that chocolate over evenly, make sure that it goes all the way to the corners. Try and spread it out as smooth as you can, but you know what, we're only humans, so that's as good as I could get it. You'll want to pop this in the fridge for at least 6 hours. I left mine in overnight though. Now before you cut it up, make sure you leave it on the bench for at least 15 minutes prior. I found that that stops my chocolate from breaking when I'm cutting it. I used a really hot knife to cut through my slice. I ran it under some hot water and then dried it off. Now you can cut your caramel slice into whatever size pieces you like. I'll share my storage tips with you at the end of the video. Yummy! It's ready to enjoy. right, let's see how this caramel slice tastes. It's nice and sweet, and I can taste that caramel. The base and the chocolate topping layer give it a nice crunchy texture, and the middle caramel layer is nice and gooey, just how you want your caramel slice. Now, I prefer to store my caramel slice in an airtight container in my cupboard, just because the base starts to get a little bit softer, and I just really think the flavors start to set in a little bit more. It'll last in the cupboard for about a week, or you can store it in the fridge in an airtight container also. It'll last about a week in there as well. Or you can store it in the freezer if you like, to stop yourself from gobbling this all up in one hit. To do that, I individually wrap the caramel slices in foil. Then once I've wrapped them all up, I then pop them into either a freezer bag or a Ziploc bag. And then I store them in the freezer. And whenever you want a slice, just pull it out. It'll be ready in about 15 minutes. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and the little notification bell so you don't miss any of my new fresh videos coming soon. Of course, we'll be cooking those from scratch. Let me know how your caramel slice goes down in the comments below. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bless you.